way, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I'll talk. Nothing's off limits. We can discuss whatever you like. After you set your goals, I would recommend doing the following. If you really want to impress them on your subconscious and be in that 10% that actually hits their goals. After writing out your goals, grab a pen and paper and write the following. What is all the pain I'll feel by not achieving my goals? So again, what is all the pain I'll feel by not achieving my goals? And write out nonstop for 3 to 5 minutes all the pain that you'll feel if you don't achieve your goals. What this is going to do is link up massive amounts of pain for your subconscious so that it knows that if you don't hit your goals, it's going to be harmful. And then you want to write, what is all the pleasure I'll feel by achieving my goals? And spend 3 to 5 minutes writing nonstop all the pleasure you'll feel if you achieve your goals. And what this will do is it'll link up for your subconscious. Not achieving my goals is pain. Achieving my goals is immense pleasure. And your subconscious controls things such as your beliefs, your habits, and your bodily functions. So you want it hardwired for success. Over 90% of what you do is subconscious. Most people don't realize this. So you want your subconscious on success autopilot, for lack of a better word. So write out your goals, do the pain pleasure exercise. By the way, I got that for Tony Robbins. Any good apps you can suggest to use as a digital vision board? I just take screenshots of what it is I want, and then I just save them all into an album, and then I flip through them every day. So that's what I use. If not, you can use Bazaart and make a vision board with that. Bazaart is actually a really good app for that kind of stuff. And then after, I'm going to jump back to goals for a second. After you have your goals, you've done the pain pleasure exercise, write out an affirmation for each goal. An affirmation is simply what's up? Yo, good to see you, Troublemaker Todd. Hi, everybody. So we got a good turnout here, so let's party. Feel free, by the way, to ask anything that you like. So, and I'll answer them as they come up. So after you did the pain pleasure affirmations. An affirmation is just a declaration that something is true. For instance, I can affirm I am joyously weighing the perfect weight for me. And you want to make your affirmations based on your goals. And I like to make them rhyme. For instance, for my weight, I can say I feel strong and alive at 175. That's if I have a fitness goal. And that way you say your affirmations to yourself and they reinforce this idea of wellness, of success. It continues to reinforce this idea onto your subconscious, which goes to work to make them a reality. And lastly, spend some time every day visualizing your goals. See the end result and feel it. The more feeling that an idea has, that an image has, the faster it gets impressed on your subconscious and the quicker it'll manifest in your life. The reason that most people don't achieve their goals is they're using willpower. Forget willpower. You want to use your imagination. If you can remember one thing from this whole talk that I'm going to do is imagination is greater than willpower. Most people try to force themselves to do something that they don't want to do, or they're going against this subconscious idea. Remember, your subconscious controls your beliefs, habits, and bodily functions. So they're fighting against themselves in essence. Don't do that. Imagination, see and feel the end result of what it is you want. And if you do all of those, your 2021 is going to be absolutely fantastic. You're going to have, imagination, is greater than willpower. And I'm glad you love that. That's actually from M. O'Quee. He's one of my favorite teachers. He wrote Self-Mastery Through Conscious Autosuggestion. He's absolutely incredible. He says imagination is greater than willpower. He also coined that famous affirmation, every day in every way I'm getting better and better. He says to say that 20 times in the morning upon awakening and 20 times at night before falling asleep. He said just say it to yourself in a neutral monotone tone, just over and over, and let that idea get into your head. Have you read The Secret? I haven't read The Secret, but I've watched the movie, and I was actually, if you watch The Secret, there's the black guy with the dreadlocks. His name is Reverend Michael Beckwith. I was actually a practitioner at his spiritual center. I was there for a number of years, and I completed their 5-year practitioner program. So I'm well versed in what The Secret teaches. And Bob Proctor from The Secret, his teacher Val Vanderwall was a student of Dr. Thurman Fleet, and the majority of the stuff that I teach is straight from Dr. Fleet. And and a lot of people unfortunately don't know that. So I'm going to give you a bunch of ideas that you might not have exposed to, hopefully, during this talk. The Secret, by the way, it does a good job. It just doesn't take things far enough, in my opinion. Dr. Joe Vitale is amazing with manifesting. Yeah, I like Joe. I'm reading right now his book, Zero Limits, and I think it's really good. How do you bounce back and believe in manifestation after suffering tragedy? So I like to, when tragedy occurs, well, I have two things to say to that. First, there's a law of rhythm. So there's a high and a low to everything. So when something happens that's very tragic, I first ask myself, the purpose, by the way, of the law of rhythm is when you're in the high, you want to sow. You want to go out and work and make things happen. And when you're in the low, it's for you to evolve. It's for you to look at what's not working in your life and look at it and then make any changes so that your high rhythm will be even higher than before. So if tragedy occurs, I ask myself, where do I need to grow? What can I do to change? How can I improve my life? I always go back to Napoleon Hill. He's the author of Think and Grow Rich. He has this great saying that is within every negative event is a seed of an equal or greater benefit. So I'll say it again. Within every negative event is the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Now, where am I going with this? Basically, if something really bad occurs, that's how much potential for good is there if I can just find it. We've all had those times in our life where something seemingly bad happened and it turned out to be the best thing that has ever happened to us. I'm sure everybody's had something like that. You think this thing is going to be the worst and it's going to crush you, and then it ends up being the thing that allows you to absolutely break through. So don't get locked into the negative. Don't get wrapped up in the illusion, the appearance of things. Within every negative event is the seed of an equal or greater benefit. There's a law of polarity. There's negative, positive, hate, love, anger, patience, cold, hot. So however negative something seems, that's how much potential for positivity is there. If you'll just acknowledge it, work for it, look for it. And even as you start looking for it, you can ask yourself, what's the good in this? Or what good is seeking to emerge? Or how does it get better than this? And as you ask yourself these questions, that positive vibration will start to move you along the scale. And also, your subconscious is infinitely intelligent, everywhere present, and all powerful. And as you start to make demands of it and ask questions of it, it'll go to work to answer these questions for you. Excuse me for just 1 second. My display on my phone turned on. I need to change the color of it. Excuse me. Or let me turn this off. Sorry about that. My night shift turned on and it changed the color of everything. So, okay. What do you do if you're already trapped in depression? Yes, if there's a negative, there's absolutely a positive. Yes, and I'm glad you recognize that. So what do you do if you're trapped in depression? This is a great question. First, I got this from Tony Robbins. I fractured a vertebrae in November, looking into what I can learn from this. Yeah, ask yourself. I would meditate. By the way, I have a number of great, I'll get to your question on depression. I just want to stay on this topic first, then I'll answer that. So I have a great meditation called Get Healthy Now, where I put you in a deep state of relaxation. And then from that deep state, we ask your subconscious, what is the cause of this physical problem? And then we form an image of total health for you. So type in Tony and Amy Get Healthy Now on YouTube, and it'll really help you out to get clear. And then I would visualize every day your vertebrae in perfect alignment. I would actually go and get a picture on Google of a spine that's perfectly healthy, and visualize that and tell yourself, this is my spine now, and feel as if you're totally healthy, and watch the changes that occur to you. Either one, the infinite intelligence of your subconscious will align your spine the way it's supposed to, or two, it'll attract you those resources so that you can have perfect health. A good story of somebody who went through something similar to you is Dr. Joe Dispenza. I believe he was doing a marathon and got hit by a car, and his back was all mangled, and they wanted him to do surgeries, and he refused. And he used visualization and some other techniques to heal his back. So it's a really good story. I would check out his story as well. Now, healing virtue of Jesus Christ. What about the healing virtue of Jesus Christ? Am I on the wrong life? Absolutely not. Jesus Christ. Well, first, what is the Christ consciousness? Christ means the anointed one. It's that higher consciousness which is available to each of us. And then obviously Jesus is one of the greatest spiritual teachers of all time. For you, it'll be Jesus is the greatest healer. So if that's the spirit you want to step into, absolutely, by all means, step into that. And then, okay, what do? You put out in the universe will return to you. Absolutely. Whatever you put out will absolutely return to you, and then some. So I want to go back to Mo asked, what do you do if you're already trapped in depression? So first, be aware of these three factors. For you to be depressed, you have to be aware of these three things. You have to be doing these three things, in fact. This comes from Tony Robbins' state control teachings. State control meaning being able to control your mental state. First, what are you doing with your physiology? If I ask you to describe a depressed person, what does that person look like? More than likely, how are they going to be standing? Are they going to be standing with their chest out? No, they'll be hunched, their chest in, concave, and they'll be hunched over, typically looking down. So the first thing you want to do is adjust your body. So stick your chest out and look up. And if you can, smile. Smiling lets your body know that everything is fine, it's safe, you're good. You'll start to pump endorphins into your system just by smiling. Even just me smiling at you, hello, will cause you to pump endorphins in your own system, and you'll feel better just by looking at me. So there's a theory called the James Lange theory that says what you do with your body affects your mind. And in like fashion, what you do with your mind affects your body. So the first thing is you want to control your physiology. Stick your chest out, look up, and then start to breathe deeply. Breathe full body breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. When someone is depressed, they don't breathe deeply. They breathe shallowly. They're just going either through their mouth or just in and out their nose easily. So again, look up, breathe deep. There was a study done at UCLA where they took a group of people who were suffering from chronic depression, and all they had them do was they looked at themselves in the mirror, stuck their chest out, and smiled big for 20 minutes a day for, I believe it was a week and a half or 2 weeks. At the end of the study, they went and interviewed all the participants, and none of them said that they suffered from depression anymore. And all they did was just adjust their physiology for 20 minutes a day. In fact, Harvard did a study on, they call it power poses. It's that Wonder Woman pose where you take your hands and stick them on your sides. We can all do it together, in fact. Take your hands, put them on your side, look up, and then just take a deep breath. And take another one. And take one more. And if you just do that a few times a day, it'll reset your nervous system essentially, and your brain will start to produce tonic feel-good chemicals. So first is physiology. Second is focus. For you to be depressed, you have to be focused on something that's of a negative nature. If you can't shift your focus to something that feels good, and if you can't jump to feeling good, then you just go to neutrality. Take your mind off whatever it is that's upsetting you and go do something else. Go walk in nature, call a friend, do something to get your mind off what it is that was causing you to feel negative. And as a result, you'll start to feel better. And then once you're at neutrality, then you can go to positivity. Third is language. How are you talking to yourself? Both the tonality and the words that you use. Typically, a depressed person will talk pretty soft and use words that don't feel good. So talk loud, talk firmly if you want to feel good. I'm the man or I'm the woman. I feel great. I look great. Get in the habit of doing things like this. When you walk with your chest out, looking up, smiling big. Breathe deep. Focus on what feels good and speak to yourself in a positive, confident, authoritative tone. And what's going to happen is you're going to stop feeling depressed. And then when those times come up that you're starting to be depressed, you'll catch them in your incipient or in their incipiency. And instead of having a full-blown depressive episode, your depression will be less and less. Also, I would recommend doing a couple things. One, I would actually get out a journal and write out how many days can I be in a good mood, or how long can I be in a good mood for, and track it and see how long you can actually force yourself to be in a good state. And at first it might be 10 minutes or 3 hours. Then it'll be 4 hours. Then it'll be 5 hours. Then you'll start to see that your good days are lasting longer and longer and longer and longer. And the amount of time you're spending in depression, because now you're making a conscious effort to feel happy, will become less and less and less and less and less. That's 1 and 2. 3, Brian Tracy said that if you don't give your mind something to do or to focus on, or if you're not filling it with good stuff, it's just going to go back to whatever its original negative slant was. So what I like to do every day is I have on YouTube a series of affirmation tracks. They're my own that I put into a playlist. And at the start of every day, I play them as soon as I start. Whether I'm in a good mood or a bad mood, I hit play. If I'm in a good mood, I feel even better. If I'm not in the best mood, I'll go to neutrality, or by the end of the tracks, I'll start to feel good. But that way, I start getting bombarded with all of these positive messages early on, and I feel way better. And then lastly, I was sitting Indian style. Lastly, never go to sleep in a negative state. This is from Neville Goddard. It's one of my favorite teachings. Neville is a Christian mystic who's absolutely amazing. And he talks about how people think that the 2/3 that they're awake dictates the quality of the 1/3 that they're asleep. But he said in reality, it's the opposite. He said, when you go to sleep at night, he said, never go to sleep in a negative state. He said, if you do, you're setting yourself up for failure. What he recommends doing is show yourself the end result of what it is you want. Feel the feelings of it taking place. For instance, in your case, see yourself happy, see yourself doing well, feel joyful. Go to sleep in that state, and you're giving these positive images to your subconscious, and it's going to use the next 8 to 10 hours to work on it to make it a reality in your life. So go to sleep in the end result of what it is you want. And before going to sleep, this is from Esther Hicks. She's an amazing spiritual teacher. She says, look around your room and just see a few things that you're grateful for and go to sleep in that feeling tone of gratitude. You know, you have a roof over your head, you have a blanket. It doesn't have to be anything major. And then when you wake up, before starting your day and getting into the commotion of the day, start to look for things that you feel grateful for. She recommends spending 5 minutes of gratitude before getting out of bed. And then go, use the bathroom, make breakfast, start to get ready. And then she recommends spending another 15 minutes just writing out things that you're grateful for. And she said, if you do this for a few days, it'll so clean up your vibration that you'll attract yourself inspiration and a number of good things. So if you do all of these exercises, it's going to have a huge cumulative effect on your psyche, and the odds of you remaining depressed are gonna greatly diminish. Also, I found from my own experience, when I was depressed, there was usually a few beliefs that I had that were incorrect that simply needed changing. It wasn't any 10 different things. It was usually just 1 or 2 key things. For instance, mine was things are always going to stay the same and nothing's going to change. And then, so what I did was I wrote those ideas out that were negative. And then on the other side, I wrote their positive opposite. I'm progressing in all areas of my life. Things are always changing for the better. And then I took it one step further. I said, what is it costing me to have those negative ideas? And I spent 5 minutes just writing out all the costs of those negative ideas. And then I spent another 5 minutes saying, what is all the pleasure I'll feel by having these new positive ideas? And I wrote that out. And then I just affirmed those new positive ideas into my subconscious every day, over and over and over again. And then it was like, hey, instant depression cure. So I hope that helps you. By the way, there's one other tip I want to recommend. Is from Bertrand Russell's The Conquest of Happiness, which is a great book. I highly recommend it. He said, if you're feeling depressed, take some of that depressed energy and use it to, just use it constructively. Get busy. He said, people who are happy often don't have enough time to feel depressed. It reminds me of, there's a Japanese form of therapy where they take depressed people and they just have them do community service. And as a result of it, the success rate of that therapy is like over 90%, if I remember correctly. So get busy. Go and take your energy that's going inward destructively and propel it outward constructively. Go see who you can help. Go see what good you can do. And as a result, you'll transform your life and the lives of others. Get the emphasis off yourself is what I want to say. And then, so let's see. Troublemaker Todd, what did you say? I have no concept of my subconscious grasp on my decision-making or view of the world. So if you want to see what's in your subconscious, just look at the areas of your life. What areas are going great and what areas are not going so great? Those areas that are going well means you have positive concepts associated with them. Those ideas that aren't going so well means you have negative beliefs about them. And all your job is to simply create new beliefs, new images or ideas of what it is you want. See it, visualize it, affirm it, and you'll change your belief system. And as a result, those areas will change. I guess I'll just say it. We have this emphasis that what we see here is real. But what our current reality is a reflection of past thought forms that have crystallized essentially to form our reality. So take your attention off whatever's not working. Start to show yourself images of you succeeding in that area and watch things transform for you. Happy holidays. Good to see you on here. What was the name of the video you mentioned about manifesting health or becoming healthy again? Oh, that video is Get Healthy Now by Tony Namey. Just type in Tony Namey, Get Healthy Now, and then I have another one, Tony Namey, Heal Your Body. And I have one more. It's an affirmation track. It's based on the work of Emil Coué, who I'm a huge fan of. If you type in Tony Namey Perfect Health Concept, just listen to it every day and it will impress your subconscious with positive ideas. Hey, the most senior is on here. Great to see you on here. Love it. Thank you. Reiki. Yep, Reiki's good. Use whatever works for you here. So I got some friends on here. Awesome. And then use your imagination. Absolutely. Imagination, as I mentioned earlier, is greater than willpower. When you use your imagination, you're impressing these ideas. Oh, thank you. You're impressing these ideas on your subconscious. And your subconscious, again, any idea that's impressed on your subconscious gets manifested in your body and in your environment. So show yourself images of you being wealthy, you being healthy, you succeeding. Dr. Fleet, who is my main teacher essentially, used to say, conceive of yourself as a success. Show yourself images of you winning. For whatever reason, when I tell people that, some either they fall into two categories. Either they do it right away, they're like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Or they get upset and they don't want to do it at all. So don't be like those people. Show yourself images of you winning. Conceive of yourself as a success. See yourself as the top in your field. I don't care if you're watching this live stream and you're the sickest, most broke, most saddest person that there is. If you start to show yourself images every day of you being successful, of you being happy, of you being healthy, of you being wealthy, your subconscious, which doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's false, will say, this is me now, and will start to go to work to make that a reality. It might cause some shifts in your life. The shift might hit the fan, so to speak, and you'll have to change some things in your life, but that's for your good. You're going to release those old thought forms, habits, and people that aren't serving you, and you're going to adopt new ways of being that are empowering, that are good for you and for those around you. Let me know, by the way, if anyone has any questions and if I missed anything. And by the way, I want to recommend one more exercise before you go to sleep tonight. Relax your body, so you're laying in bed tonight. Relax your body. Go through and relax the different muscles. Then count down from 20 to 1 or 30 to 1 in a calm, relaxing, soothing voice. 20, 19, 18. And then when you arrive at 1, I want you to give yourself positive instructions. So tell your subconscious what it is you want. Subconscious, make me healthier. Make me wealthier. I am rich. I am wealthy. These are facts for me now. Can you talk about the water cup thing before sleep? Absolutely. So I'll just get to that in 1 second. So give yourself instructions give your subconscious instructions as to what it is you want, and watch what it does for you. It's going to transform your life. In fact, you can even tell it. While I sleep, I want to be instructed while I sleep via healthy, peaceful, constructive dreams. Or what I like to do is I say, connect me with the world's greatest spiritual teachers while I sleep tonight. I want them to instruct me. And then people like David Hawkins shows up, or Michael Beckwith show up in my dreams and give me all this information. There's no time and space for your subconscious. The only thing that limits it is us, our own conceptions of what we think is and isn't possible. So try it out. It's an amazing exercise. I appreciate your simplistic way of breaking all of this down. I think this is what people need. Absolutely, and thank you. I learned all this stuff. It took me a number of years. I went to this guru and this spiritual teacher, and I would fly out to all these weird teachers and crazy events. And the thing is nobody had it in a cohesive whole where it was easy. Everyone would say, oh, it takes years to develop. It's not overnight. And I didn't want that. I wanted the meat and potatoes right now. I wanted rapid results, and that's what I want to give you. Things that you can use right now to transform your life. If I tell you, oh yeah, this is going to work for you a year from now, you're not going to care. I want you can start doing today, and by tomorrow, you'll start getting results. Speaking of results, I'm going to go to what the most senior said, the water cup thing. So let's say you have a problem that you want a solution to. You get a cup of water, and you get a cup, fill it with water, hold the cup roughly at about 20 degrees. The reason that I want you to hold it at 20 degrees is when you look upwards at around 20 degrees, your brain starts to go from beta, the state of consciousness that you're in right now as you're awake, to alpha, which is a deeper state of consciousness that takes place when you're, for instance, in meditation. An example of this is if I ask you to think about, what did you have last Wednesday for lunch? You'll typically look up as you try to remember it. Why? Because your brain is going from beta into alpha to get that information. So I want you to take your cup, fill it with water, hold it up at about 20 degrees so that you go into alpha, and then think of the problem you have in mind and tell yourself, this is all I need to do to find the solution to the problem I have in mind. And drink half the water. By the way, you're supposed to do this before going to sleep. Set the water aside and go to sleep. Now, one of three things will happen. Either you'll have a dream in the middle of the night with the answer to your problem, or two, upon awakening, you'll have an email or text or call from somebody with a solution to your problem. Or three, at some point, usually within the next 72 hours, you'll get the answer to your problem. When you wake up in the morning, if you don't even get the answer while you were in the form of a dream, grab the cup again and then hold it up again and tell yourself, this is all I need to do to find the solution to the problem I have in mind, and drink the other half of the water. Why does this work? What it is it's auto-suggestion. You're giving yourself an idea before sleeping that this is going to work, and this idea is going into your subconscious. Your subconscious, being this infinite supercomputer, it already knows the answer to the problem that you have in mind, and it's going to solve it for you. Also, the last 15 minutes before you fall asleep, your brain starts to go from beta into alpha, and you've given it this idea. So the trapdoor of your subconscious is already beginning to open, plus you're causing yourself to go into alpha. So this idea is getting impressed and then reinforced in the morning, and you'll get yourself the idea. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of cup. Some people tell me it has to be a glass cup, it has to be this cup. That doesn't matter. People tell me you have to place the water next to your bed. I've had people tell me you have to put it under your bed. Again, that doesn't matter either. Some people say it has to be wine. That doesn't matter. You can do it with soda if you want. It's not the water. It's the idea that you're giving yourself that's causing you to have the solution to the problem. Let me know if that helps. Could you show us this cup of water trick? Yeah, let me get a cup of water. Give me 1 second. Me looking at, all right. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I probably should have done it this way to begin with, but okay. So you have your cup of water. I have it filled halfway. I hold it at 20 degrees, and I think this is all I need to do to find the solution to the problem I have in mind. So again, this is all I need to do to find the solution to the problem I have in mind. The problem I have in mind by right now is I want to hire a new business coach. So I'll do it right now. So I drink half the water. I set it aside, and then I'll repeat that in the morning. And then that's it. And then either tonight I'll have the solution, or tomorrow, some point within the next 72 hours, I'll have the solution to the problem. So good question. Thank you, the Most Senior, for asking. And then if anyone has any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm going to talk for maybe about 10 more minutes. Now, another thing that I recommend doing, if you don't already have some type of spiritual practice, is every day read or listen to something. This is all I need in order to, yep, exactly. Is that poster supposed to attract the Lamborghini and the cash? I've seen something like that before. That's funny. Amazing thing. Awesome. Yeah, this is my vision board. So what you do is, if you guys want me to talk about vision boards, I'm happy to go into them if you want. So it's a vision board is basically a picture of things that you want. You cut them out, you put them up. Normally, I have mine at a height slightly higher than I am, so that I'm looking up at it, so that I'm looking at it at a roughly 20 degrees, so that it causes my brain to go into alpha, and these images and ideas get impressed on my subconscious. I have it slightly lower just so that when I record videos, by the way, my hair is crazy right now, just so that when I record videos, you can see it in the background. Yeah, vision boards totally work. So I'll give you some tips on how to make yours more powerful. First, when you make a vision board, put it at a slightly higher height than you are. Oh, I love you too. Second, what was number 2? Sorry, you said I love you, and then my brain went on another track. So put it at a slightly higher height than you are. Second, make sure you put yourself on the vision board. So put yourself on there so that it's easier for you to relate, for your subconscious to see, oh, that's me now. Third, make sure to look at your board for at least a minute every day. The reason I say a minute is it takes on average 34 seconds for an idea that's concentrated upon to drop from your conscious mind into your subconscious. So again, cars and money, yep. So again, it takes on average 34 seconds for an idea to go from your conscious mind into your subconscious. And once it's in your subconscious, it's going to manifest in your body and in your environment. So for instance, I have easy ways to get the biggest refund. I have that on my vision board. So I had put this up maybe a year ago, right before I needed to file my tax refunds. And I was like, this year I'm going to get the biggest refunds. I saw myself with the cash and I could feel it. And then I did my taxes and I ended up getting my biggest refund and everything went great. So put on it what you want to see. And then in addition to looking at it for 34 seconds, you can play music if you really want to get into the feeling tone of it. And then actually feel the end result. Look at it, feel the feelings of the end result of if you had what it is you want now, and you can attract miracles into your life. I'll tell you a funny story of vision boards. When I first started, Pinterest is a good one. When I first started doing this, I wanted to know, is this real? Is it nonsense? Is it just like some woo-woo stuff? So I was living in LA at the time and I asked myself, I said, who do I never run into in LA? And Paris Hilton came up. I was like, you know what? I never see Paris Hilton. So I cut out a picture of Paris Hilton. I put her up at 20 degrees and I would walk by my vision board and just for 30 seconds or a minute every day, I would just look at it and go, Paris Hilton, Paris Hilton, Paris Hilton, Paris Hilton for, maybe 30 seconds. And then I would just feel as if me and her met. I would shake her hand in my imagination. Hey, great to meet you. So the first day, I'm doing this, nothing happens. Second day I'm doing this, no Paris Hilton. Third day I'm doing this, my friend calls me and he goes, hey, Tony, do you want to go to dinner? And I'm like, yeah, let's go. So I meet him outside this restaurant and I invited some other friends and I'm waiting for them to pull up. And this car pulls up and who do they drop off right there? They drop off Paris Hilton right next to me. And they go to park and she's standing next to me and then we start chatting it up. So your subconscious can connect you with people that'll blow your mind. It has infinite ways to connect you with whatever it is that you want. As I said earlier, it's just your limited ideas of what you think is possible is what's stopping you. Science has proven that by seeing something constantly every day with a set of eyes, we're gifted, we attract. Absolutely. In fact, 87% of all the impressions that you take in come via the form of sight. So show yourself images of what it is you want. I do two things every day. One, I show myself images of what it is that I want and myself succeeding. By the way, I have myself, for instance, I did a Muay Thai fight. It went great. I cut out a picture of this guy having his hand raised after doing a Muay Thai fight. And then I said, that's going to be me. And I just visualized every day. I would look at it and feel as if I was doing great. And sure enough, a few weeks later, my hand was raised. So show yourself what it is you want. Life is inside out. For most people, life is unfortunately outside in. They think if something happens that's good, therefore I'll feel good. But in reality, start feeling good and then good things will happen on the outside. I am putting you on my vision board. I will be happy to be manifested into your physical environment. So that would be great. And then, so there was some other tips. By the way, you can do vision boards. You can do a vision wallpaper on your phone or an album like I mentioned earlier. You can also do what's called a vision movie. I got this from a guy by the name of Malcolm Cohen, where you just use Microsoft PowerPoint or Google Slides. And you put up pictures of what it is that you want. And so you put up the picture, you put up an affirmation of what it is you want, and you can play music for each slide. And you can set a timer for each slide, how long you want it to show. So I would set each slide for 34 seconds. And then by the time I get to the last slide, I'm in this super feel-good state. And I know I've impressed upon my subconscious the idea because I've been focusing on each one, feeling the end result for 34 seconds. And it creates miracles in your life. For instance, I'm making one for myself. Awesome. I would put Farah on my vision board too. You're a smart person. So, and then I just started to learn how to sign. Perfect. I will, hold on. I see some comments coming in. I'll get to them in 1 second. So after making my vision movie, I made one and I was watching it every day. And I put on one of the slides, Rob Kamen and Higan Machado. Rob Kamen is, in my opinion, one of the greatest kickboxers of all time, maybe the greatest. And Higan Machado is one of the greatest jiu-jitsu fighters of all time. And I put that I'm being trained by the best. So I would watch this vision statement every day. I had them two, and then I had these two models that would pop up after them as well. And I would say, it says something like, I'm dating the best. So I'd watch this every day and get into the feeling tone of it. And within a week or so of watching my vision movie, a few interesting things started happening. I get a call from my friend's wife. She said, hey, we're going to throw a surprise party for my friend. She's like, do you want to, can you make sure to come? It's on this day. So I'm like, yeah, for sure. So I go to the surprise party and I sit down and I'm waiting for everybody to come. And who comes and sits next to me? Rob Kamen and Higan Machado, the guys that were on my Vision movie that I hadn't met before. I end up talking to both of them. Higan ends up training me in jiu-jitsu. Rob just ends up becoming one of my good friends. And then I end up... Ooh. Sorry, my phone cut out. I got a warning from TikTok on here. And then I ended up becoming good friends with both of them, and I'm friends with them to this day. So what you put on your vision statement you can attract to you virtually anyone if you can get into the feeling result. Your job is to decide, the end result, excuse me. Your job is to decide the what, let the universe take care of the how. So remember I said I had Rob Kamen and Higan Machado, and after them I had these two models. So I had these two really famous models. I'm not going to say who they are. And I used to have this big MMA site where every week I would have a model of the week. And so I would feature different models who would want to come on and it would get them a lot of exposure. So one day I get a call from this guy. Hey, is this Tony? He's got a real deep voice. I'm like, yeah, who's this? And I'm kind of like wondering who is this? Someone like some girl's boyfriend that's upset that I went out with. And he's like, hey, I want to thank you for helping my girls out. You've been featuring a lot of your girls in your girl of the week. Has gotten them a lot of exposure. And I'm like, oh yeah, no problem, man. I'm glad to help out. If you have any other girls that want to be featured, just let me know. So he's like, hey, I don't want to just thank you. Like, I want to make this up to you. I have a table at such and such nightclub this Saturday. Do you want to come? I'm going to have these models there. And he listed the two girls that I had on my vision statement that I showed myself dating. And then I ended up meeting them. So what you can do with a vision statement or with a vision movie and with your subconscious is beyond belief. So all you have to do is really get into the end result. Oh, I got a warning from TikTok. It wasn't a warning. It was, I set a thing on it that after 40 minutes, it'll tell me to it'll sign me out of TikTok so that I don't spend all day responding to people or just watching videos. And so I hadn't been on the app for that long in some time, and so it popped up. Okay, so it looks like a lot of comments came in. Let me make sure that I responded to everybody. Okay, so this is all I need to... Yeah, okay, perfect. Thank you. What's your definition of magic? Magic, to me, is the ability to attract what you want when it is you want it. So that's magic. That's probably also the definition of a miracle, an instant manifestation of good. So magic to me is the ability to attract what it is you want when you want it. And you guys are magical and you're powerful. And if anyone tells you otherwise, it's because they don't know what they're talking about and they haven't tapped into their divinity to make real things happen in their life. And then, we love you. I love you too. I put my kids' pictures as vision board. That's awesome. Cars and money. Who cares? I care. That's my life. That's what I want. I use Pinterest for my vision board. That's crazy. What's up, Cass? Great to see you on here. Yes. Can you manifest to be famous? Absolutely. So I'm going to tell you a great manifestation story. I hope Cassidy's still on here because this is a great one. I should make a video on this. The best manifester that I ever met, of all the people I've met that manifest, the best manifester that I ever met is Angelina Jolie. I met her before she was uber famous. This probably took place like maybe 18 years ago, this story. And she told me, she said, Tony, I will be so famous that everybody in the world will know the name Angelina Jolie. And I had never in my life heard anyone publicly declare in front of everybody, with no shame, with just total certainty and conviction, what they were going to do. She said it again. I will be so famous that everyone in the world will know the name Angelina Jolie. And she said, what's my name? And I said, Angelina Jolie. She said, what am I going to do? I said, you're going to be so famous that everyone in the world is going to know your name. And sure enough, she ended up doing it. So you can absolutely manifest wanting to be famous. What I would do is take somebody, go on their Instagram, somebody who has like 10 million plus followers or whatever their size is, and I would just take their picture and superimpose your picture over it and then look at that every day and just visualize and feel as if you had 10 million followers. What would that end result look like? What would you feel like if you had all these people who knew, what it is you are? There's nothing that's off limits. So if you want to be famous, tell yourself, I'll be the most famous person in the world. Bruce Lee, he said, this is actually his definite chief aim in life. He said by 1980, I forgot the exact year, I will be the best known Oriental actor and will have received $10 million for my work, and in return, I will give the absolute best acting in every movie that I do. Something along that line. I'm paraphrasing it. And that was what he did, and he ended up making it. By the way, $10 million back then was a lot of money. So $10 million now is a lot of money. So you can manifest whatever it is that you want. So if you want to be famous, by all means. I know a few girls actually that are fairly big name, like they're fairly big on Instagram in terms of modeling. And I knew them before when they first started out, and they wanted to quit and they wanted to give up. And I told them the Angelina Jolie story I just told you all. And I encouraged them to continue on the track. I said, if you have a passion for this, stay on it. Don't give up. Don't go back to, don't go home and admit to defeat. Forget that. And now they have millions of followers on Instagram. They've traveled the world. They're living their dream lives. And you can too. But yeah, the mind does not know what's different and what's real. Truth, amazing. Thank you. Vision boards are awesome. Also, please add that in life you attract what you give, not necessarily what you want. Absolutely. You attract what you are. So you can say, I want this, I want to be wealthy, but then you're focusing on lack all the time. You're going to attract lack. So focus on the end result of what it is you want. I just learned. Okay, I'm making one. Awesome. I'm glad you met people that are encouraging you to sign. I made a slideshow for my Apple Watch background of things I want. Oh, that's great. That way you're constantly looking at it all the time and with Oh, yeah. And then another reason vision boards work, this is going to what Cassidy had mentioned, is, as you constantly look at something, you're feeling the feeling tone, seeing it. It's as if you're at this idea as a nail, and you're just hammering it into your subconscious, and once it's in there, and things are going to change for you. Hey, from Virginia Beach, what's up? Okay, cool. And then, I couldn't get pregnant for 8 years. Terrible journey. About 4 years in, I made a vision board. And then I'm assuming okay. Is it a good strategy to go in a quiet room and play a background music and close your eyes and manifest? I'll tell the Angelina Jolie story in a second. Oh, Happy New Year to you too. Thank you. Okay. Is it a good strategy to go in a quiet room and play a background music and close your eyes and manifest? You can. I like it. I mean, that's a great strategy. The reason being is when you go in a quiet room and play background music and then close your eyes and start to relax, what that's going to do is it's going to cause your brain to go from beta, this awake state of consciousness, into alpha, which is a deeper state of meditation, and possibly to theta, which is the state that takes place when you're either under hypnosis or when you're dreaming at night. So that's a great way to manifest. In fact, that's what Neville Goddard recommends, Joseph Murphy, myself. All you have to do is sit or lay down, and this is done, they teach us in the Silva method as well. Relax your body, count down from 20 to 1 in a soothing voice, and then that'll relax your mind and open up the trapdoor to your subconscious, and then start to show yourself the end result of what it is you want and get in that feeling tone of it. And remember, feeling is the secret. Feeling is the secret. I cannot say this enough. Neville Goddard said the difference between success and failure is the difference between feeling and visualization. I'll say that again. The difference between success and failure is the difference between feeling and visualization. Get into the feeling tone of it. Actually feel it. Don't just show yourself it. Showing yourself it is good, obviously, but feel it as well, because the more feeling it has, the faster it gets impressed on your subconscious, and the quicker it manifests in your body and in your environment. This is an example on a negative note, but if I ask my mom or any of my uncles or aunts where they were when John F. Kennedy died, they all know right away. Why? Because that event had such a negative impact on them that they remember exactly where they were when they heard that news. So on a positive note, give yourself tons of feeling in regards to in regards to the images you show yourself. And as a result, those ideas will get impressed on your subconscious faster and manifest right away in forms of health and wealth and joy and etc. Whatever it is that you want, success. Oh, that's awesome, Kathy. So Kathy said that she put up pictures on her vision boards of kids and when she couldn't get pregnant, and now the kids in the pictures look like they could be twins. That's absolutely amazing. Awesome. Thank you. So yeah, I recommend doing stuff like that too. You're only limited by the images you show yourself. Show yourself images of you winning. When I was in the car business, they had this list every month. They email out whoever are the top closers in terms of percentage. Whoever has the highest closing percentage in Southern California. And I would just visualize myself being number one on that list. So I spent a whole month just visualizing, feeling as if they told me I'm number one. And sure enough, I ended up having the highest closing percentage of all brands within Southern California for my company, which was the largest automotive company in the United States. So show yourself images of you succeeding. Let me see. Is there any other questions? I see a bunch of questions came in that I missed. Okay. So how long do you manifest on the thing that you want and how many times a day? What I recommend doing, well, first, you only have to do it a minute or two each time because it only takes 34 seconds for an idea to go from your conscious mind into your subconscious. Also, the other reason that I mentioned a minute is this, by the way, is something that no metaphysical teachers talk about, or very few, and it drives me nuts. Everybody talks about a raise in vibration. For instance, there's fear, then there's depression, then there's anger, then there's neutrality, then there's peace, then there's love, then there's joy. So as you move up the scale, you have what's called a raise in vibration. But what I also want you to focus on is amplitude. When you hold an idea in your mind for 34 seconds to a minute to the exclusion of all else, and you get into the feeling tone of it, within your brain are brain cells. Within those brain cells are electrons. As you start to think a thought or hold an image, brain cells begin to start vibrating abnormally, and those electrons go out and land on people who are in harmony with it, who are in resonance with what you're thinking, and they bring to you what it is you want. So you want to visualize for at least a minute so that the amplitude of what it is you want becomes strong enough to actually shift your current reality. So that's a secret that most people don't know about. I like to do my visualizations ideally 3 times a day, just because life, I don't like to get caught up in the illusion of life. Life can get tumultuous, life can get hectic. So I like to reset myself. I do it in the morning. I do it, I reset myself in the afternoon and then at night again before sleeping. And it doesn't have to take a long amount of time, but it's really good for your body. It's really good for your mind. And it gives you a clear sense of where you're going when you reset yourself throughout the day. So just a couple minutes, morning, noon, and night. I have affirmations that I do morning, noon, and night, and it keeps me on a smooth track. Hey, I just got crystals, how to activate them. I believe they're already activated. So each crystal has its own unique vibration. You can put them in the sun if you want, and you should be good that way. Totally lost board and got depressed. Then when my son was 2, I found the board. Oh, awesome. Okay. And make a vision board now, by the way, Kathy, for what it is you want, and get into the feeling tone of it. So it's my first crystal, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I would put them in the sun and then let that energy infuse them, and that's it. And then it's that simple. Okay, cool. Let me see. I see a few questions. Great explanation. Thank you. How about releasing unconscious blocks from past traumas? It's focusing on that bad. So I'm going to repeat this again. If you want to release unconscious blocks from past traumas, it's focusing on that bad. So there's different schools of thought on that. Some people believe that as you keep trying to bring up past issues, you're reactivating that vibration. But I like to do what's called mental catharsis. So there's a few ways to do it. Mental catharsis is where you bring up stuff from your past in the form of it being healed. So you can, here, I'll give you a few exercises to do. 1, you just free, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess you can just freestyle, free speech, essentially. Let's say you're driving, just allow yourself to talk for 10 or 20 minutes as you drive, and let whatever wants to come up beneath the surface come up without you judging it or even addressing it. And as you start to talk, after a few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, stuff from the past will start to come up. And just talk it out, and then you'll feel lighter and cleaner because you've let that go. That's 1. 2, you can use the Silva method form of meditation where you put yourself in a relaxed state of mind. You count down from 20 to 1 or 10 to 1. And then you ask yourself, you can ask yourself, is there anything that's currently affecting me from my past that needs to be addressed? And see what comes up. And then when it comes up, what I like to do is but I do this at a deep state of mind, in a deep state of relaxation. I see what took place that was negative, and then I show myself its positive opposite. So I'll give you an example. I had a student once who came to me. he wanted dating coaching. And we were talking, the guy was good looking. He was tall. He dressed well. I said, "What's going on? Like, what's your issue?" I was really surprised that this guy was having issues. And he was really confident. And he told me, he said it all started when he was 13 years old. He went up to, I want to make sure I'm saying this story right. There was a girl that he liked, the popular girl in the class. And he went up to ask her out. He said, "Hey, whatever, her name was, I think you're really pretty. Do you want to be my girlfriend?" And she said, "Ew, no, I would never want to be your girlfriend." And I think she told him how ugly he was, and all her friends laughed at him. And it so had, remember, the more feeling that something has, the deeper will be its impact. It had such a negative effect on him that he took that idea she gave him that he was ugly, and that was his belief system in regards to dating. So what I did was I just had him take a few deep breaths. I relaxed his body. I relaxed his mind. I had him go back to that moment, to that pivotal moment where she said he was ugly. And I had her tell him how good looking he is and how honored she'd be to be his girlfriend. And I had him visualize that all the other girls applauded and cheered for him. And what happened was, remember, your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's false. So when I showed his subconscious that image, it took it over, and it was like he was activated. This guy became so confident, so successful with women. After that, I could point at any woman anywhere and I'd be like, "Hey, go talk to her." And he would walk up and approach her as if he was God's gift to women, and it totally changed his life. So another way of dealing with unconscious hurts or subconscious hurts is to do that method. Go back into your past. And most people know, there was this that happened to me as a kid, this that happened to me. And just show yourself its positive opposite. Now, another way of doing this is, Dr. Fleet used to say, and there's a lot of people who are on board with this, sometimes it's either impossible to find out exactly what it was that happened to you as a child because it happened so early on that it's almost impossible to find what it is that had a negative effect on you. Or sometimes it's just too difficult to keep trying to address it. So instead, just start to come up with a counter idea to that idea. For instance, let's say you had some type of negative experience around money as a child. There was never enough money. And you don't know, at what age it happened. Instead of going and showing yourself that and trying to figure it out and rationalize it out, just start affirming that you're wealthy now. Visualize yourself as wealthy. Visualize yourself as succeeding. See money pouring into your bank account. And that new positive idea will eventually grow and overtake that old negative idea. It'll replace it, actually. And then you'll no longer vibrate to that old idea. It'll just seem distant or foreign to you, and you'll no longer believe it. And then another thing you can do is just journal every day. Write out whatever's going on in your life, whatever's bothering you, write out whatever's going on with you. And as negative ideas start to emerge from your past, affirm their positive opposite. Tell yourself, "I am no longer this person. I am this person now, and for these reasons." And then list out the reasons. And then also list out what is the pleasure that I'll feel by adopting these new beliefs. Because again, you want to give yourself leverage. You want to make your subconscious know that those old ideas are painful and these new ideas are pleasurable. And that's what you should focus on. Thank you for the fire. I appreciate that. And let me know if that helps you. I'm talking a little bit fast, so if there's anything you want me to reiterate, I'm happy to do so. I have, by the way, my book, How to Manifest Your Dream Life. The e-version is out right now. The hardcover will be out soon. And I have a number of exercises to deal with issues from your past. By the way, just go on, I have on my YouTube channel. You can type in Tony Namey Perfect Health Concept or Tony Namey Heal Your Mind. The Heal Your Mind will help you heal negative ideas from your past. And Tony Namey Perfect Health Concept is just a series of positive affirmations to heal your body, your mind, your soul. And it'll really have a positive effect on you. What if you put the wrong thing on the vision board that winds up destroying you? Don't even start with, if it doesn't feel good, don't put it on your vision board. So again, if it doesn't feel good, don't put it on your vision board. So only focus on that which feels good to you. Something that an easy way is, would you want this for your best friend? If you would, then put it on there. What's something you manifested that came into reality? I think I told earlier the Paris Hilton story, the training with two of the best people in the world, or excuse me, one of the best people in the world, becoming friends with both of them. So I've manifested a lot of stuff. The other day I just said, I'm going to try this exercise. I said, how fast could I manifest $100? So I just visualized just for fun. I was like, can I manifest like $100 really quick? And I think it took me 3 hours to do it. Somebody gave me $100. Like, and when does anybody ever give you $100? Like cash. That's what I wanted to see if I could do. I do need an updated one. Thank you. Awesome. What is something you've manifested? What is CPRSD? Let me know what it is and I'll speak about it. Stream of consciousness, free association. Exactly. Yep. Free association is what I was trying to say. It has caused me to be diagnosed with functional neurological disorder. If you have something like that, I would recommend going and seeing my friend. Type in sfgoldman.com. Again, sfgoldman.com. He's one of the best healers and doctors in the world. Go see him and let him balance your body out and you'll feel well. sfgoldman.com. And you can DM me. I'll also send you a link to his info. How's that an accomplishment to pick up girls? That's what you think being confident is? It was a huge accomplishment to take a man who felt so bad about himself that he wouldn't approach a girl because he felt so ugly, and to shift him in 30 minutes and to give him such confidence that not only could he approach the women that he wanted, but he was able to approach the women he wanted and get into a committed, healthy relationship was hugely transformative and positive. So I hope you can see the benefit of that. Not only did I positively impact him, but I positively impacted every woman, including, I don't know if they're married now, but I positively impacted every woman that he interacted from that moment forward. I look like Matthew McConaughey. Thank you. What's something you manifested in your life? So I manifested, meeting Paris Hilton, beautiful models, trips. I mean, you're manifesting at all times. I manifested one time. I was on this forum and there was a group of us talking about manifesting money. So we set out the goal to manifest $20,000. So we said, this is something we all feel comfortable with. So we each visualized every day that those of us in the group had all said that we manifested $20,000 and that we were congratulating each other on manifesting $20,000. So within, I believe, 3 days, I got a check in the mail from some guy that owed me, somebody I knew that owed me some money. And I didn't think I was ever going to get paid for this money. It was some money from way back in the day. It was $3,000. I was like, oh, great. So that $3,000 came. And then either that day or the next day, I met with my accountant about something. And she was looking over my taxes. And she's like, Tony, you know what? I think if we file things a certain way, I can save you $17,000 on your taxes. And I was like, perfect, do it. So there was my 20 grand. And then everybody in the group ended up visualizing within it was maybe a week, ended up coming up with their 20,000 as well. Somebody got a gift from a relative. Somebody else got something from work. And it was really, really cool to see. By the way, when you do group manifestation exercises like that, let's say there's 4 of you. It's not 4 units of energy. This is what Jack Canfield teaches. I don't know if it's true, but I like this belief, so I'm going to adopt it. So instead of there being 4 units of energy, he says it's 4 squared. So it's the equivalent of 16 units of energy, and it'll really have a positive impact on you and the people in the group. Can you restate the journal entry? It seems so helpful. Let me know which journal entry you mean, and I'm happy to reiterate it. It's an accomplishment because it was his goal. Exactly. Yep. How do you practice using your imagination to visualize? So here, I'll give you an example. If you want to use your imagination to visualize, this is what Neville teaches. He says, first imagine that you have a lemon in your hand. So imagine that you have a lemon in your hand. You can squeeze it and feel it. He said, see the color, see the texture. He said, now change it, and imagine you have a tennis ball in your hand. See yourself throwing the ball up in the air, catching it. He's like, squeeze it. It has a different texture than the lemon. He said, now change it to, it's a baseball. So it's not a tennis ball anymore. Again, throw it in the air, catch it, squeeze it, see it, feel the texture of it. It's different from the lemon and it's different from the tennis ball. So he said, if you can feel all 3 of those imaginary items, that's how you visualize. You see and feel the end result of what it is you want. So let me know if that helps you or not. Is it better to manifest in a group? It depends who the group is and if they can all get together and get clear on what it is they want and how much time it takes. So you don't have to manifest in a group. You can just manifest by yourself, but it's whatever you like or whatever's best for you that gets you into the end result and the feeling tone. Sometimes it's fun because when you have 30 people all focusing on abundance or focusing on peace or love, the energy multiplies and you all get into this really high state. So I like it for that reason. So it just depends. I like to get together with groups fairly often and do some type of work like that because Okay, I'll answer that in 1 second. I like to sometimes get together with the group and do things like that. The reason being is I like to get propelled out of this normal state of consciousness, that, my normal vibration every day, and put myself in some higher states of consciousness, so that becomes my default setting, essentially. I've been doing public speaking for a long time. I took classes in college. And then I just kept speaking from there. And I've done comedy, improv. I've done comedy, improv, stand-up, all those things. And so I feel really comfortable in talking to people. Also, I'm just very open. I feel there's that saying by Buddha, there's strength in weakness and there's weakness in strength. So I just let myself be super vulnerable. I don't mind. There's nothing that's off limits. And I realize that's like very empowering for people. I was going to make a video about this. I hope my vulnerability gives you strength. If you can see me succeeding and applying these concepts, it'll allow you to succeed and apply them in your own life. Now, if you bought land with cash from a family member and you still haven't gotten it under your name, what I would do is, what would the end result look like for you? Would it be you having the deed in your hand? Would it be you walking the land and just feeling grateful for you having it? Whatever the end result is, show yourself that and get into that feeling tone. And what's going to happen is you're going to be thinking a thought and putting forth those thought vibrations that are going to go out and land on that family member. And if he or she is in resonance with it, they're going to act in accordance with the image that you're putting forth. I'll give you a story about this. So a woman comes to Neville Goddard and she says, Neville, I want to manifest a new job. And so he asked her point blank, he's like, what's wrong with your current job? And she goes, well, I love my job, but I hate my manager. She's like, my manager's horrible to work with. And so Neville tells her, he goes, it's not your manager, it's you. And the woman is aghast. She's shocked. She goes, how can it be me? She said, he berates me every day. He constantly puts me down. The issue's with him. And Neville tells her, he said, let me take a guess. He said, every day when you drive to work, are you speaking negatively to your manager in your head? And she said, oh yeah, I constantly tell him how much I hate him and how much I want to quit and how horrible he's made my job. So Neville said, those thought vibrations, those thoughts are affecting you. So change your speech as you go to work every day and watch things change. So the woman starts doing this. She starts telling her boss how grateful she is for him, how grateful she is for her job, how much she loves being there, thanking her manager, telling him how great of a job he's doing. And after a few days, the manager calls her up in front of everybody. And she gets nervous. She thinks, oh no, he's going to berate me again. But instead, he calls her up and he congratulates her in front of everybody and praises her for how great of a job she's doing. And since then, she's had a great relationship with that manager and her work life was smooth. So the point I want to make is people think that they're thinking their own thoughts and taking their own actions of their own volition, when in reality, you can cause a train of thought for somebody else by feeling the end result of what it is you want and assuming that it's good for them. Those thought vibrations will go out and hit that person and affect that person, and they'll take actions in accordance with your image. So put out vibrations, thoughts, images that are healthy, that are constructive, that are uplifting for you and for others, and watch things shift in those people's lives. So in the case of your family member, see your family member happy that they gave you the land. See yourself happy. See everyone happy with it. The end result of what it is you want. Get into that feeling tone of it and watch things shift. Don't get wrapped up, by the way, until that it's done. And any type of commotion or he said, she said, or whatever, step away from all that. Take your eyes off the illusions of things. Life is inside out. Start to focus on the inside, the feeling tone of what it is you want, and watch things shift in your external world. And then obviously take the right actions in accordance with that you feel guided to take. You're a natural. Good for you. Thank you. I appreciate that. The vision board is working great. I gave a whole talk on it. Very authentic person. Are you doing any content in SD? I want to start a men's group. I used to have a group, by the way. I was just thinking about it earlier. It was super fun. We used to get together every week, and either I would take us through an exercise for the hour, or we would bring in a hypnotist or somebody successful to speak. And it was a really fun group. So I've been contemplating doing something like that and getting it going again. I also want to get a men's group going and give a lot of the guys that I know like a firm kick in the butt and take them to a higher level. Love to create in a group. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad my live came up. I'm probably going to make a Facebook group soon, like Tony Namey Manifestation Group, and I'm going to give everybody exercises to do every week so that we can really build ourselves up in consciousness and transform our lives. Damn it, it's freezing and I wanted to hear this story. What story did you want to hear? Let me know and I'll tell you right now. Thanks, man. I'll try to do the exact thing you said. You're welcome. When you manifested 20 grand, did you say I do it? I didn't. I just said I'm going to I just saw the end result of it, and then that manifested it for me. Let me know what story, Mike, that you wanted to hear, and I'll tell it to you. So somebody asked me about the Angelina story. Let me know if you're still on, and I'll answer it for you right now. It's not freezing over here. I had the heater turned way, way up, so it was super hot as I was talking. How to work the vision board. The vision board I spoke about in depth. If you like, Silva, send me a DM and then I'll link a video to you that I made about it, as I don't want to have to reiterate it for those who heard it. Can you manifest me $20,000? Oh yeah, Angelina Jolie story. I'll tell it briefly again. For those of you who already heard it, just be patient, and then I'll move on to the next thing. So Kathy, absolutely, I can manifest, by the way, $20,000. Oh, at least I believe I can. I'll just visualize you. By the way, this is a great exercise. This goes back to Neville Goddard. He has a thing called How to Heal a Friend. Let me tell the Angelina Jolie story, and then I'll tell you this. So the Angelina Jolie story is basically, I met her 18 years ago after she had done Girl Interrupted, but before she did Tomb Raider. And she told me, she said, I will be so famous that everyone in the world will know the name Angelina Jolie. And she said it again. I had never heard anyone speak with such conviction, with such authority and knowingness that this is what they're going to do. And she said it again. I will be so famous that everyone in the world will know the name Angelina Jolie. And she said, what's my name? And I said, Angelina Jolie. And she said, what am I going to do, or what am I going to be? I said, you're going to be so famous that everyone in the world will know the name Angelina Jolie. So, and she did it. So speak into existence. And she said it in a room full of people with no shame, with no reservations. This is what I'm going to do. And I had never heard anyone in my life speak like that before. So in my opinion, she's the best manifester that I've ever seen in my life. So let me know if that helps. Okay. And then somebody, so can you manifest me 20K? Yes. I can manifest it for you, and you can manifest it for you. And I'll show you what the process. So, thank you for the flames. So if you want to manifest anything for anyone, it's the same process as manifesting for yourself. First, lay down and relax your body. Second, count down from 20 to 1 or 30 to 1 in a relaxing voice, 20, 19, 18, 17, but even in a soothing voice, relax, and 20, 19, until you get to 1, and then your body and mind are relaxed, and then show yourself the end result of what it is you want and get into the feeling tone of it. So if you want, thank you for all the gifts. If you want $20,000, show yourself $20,000 and see it and feel it. What's the end result? Is it in your bank account? Do you have it in your hands? Whatever that looks like, show it to you. I recently manifested a large amount of money. I'm not going to say it on the live, but I just saw it in my bank account. I said, I don't know how this is going to happen, but this is what I want, and I'm going to feel into it. And it took place by some method that I would have never even thought possible. And you can do the same for yourself. So you relax your body, relax your mind, feel the feeling tone of the end result, and then consider the matter complete. Now, if you want to manifest for somebody else, thank you again. If you want to manifest for somebody else, relax your body, relax your mind, call that person mentally by their name, and imagine that person in front of you. And then whatever it is that you want to visualize for that person, see it taking place. If you want to see for instance, if the person's unemployed, see them telling you how much they love their job, how they're employed now, they're earning so much money, they love what they do, their confidence is doing great, and congratulate them on their job. Tell them, I'm so proud of you, you're doing such a fantastic job, and shake their hand and really get into that feeling tone of it, and that's how you manifest for somebody else. So for me, I would see you visualizing. I would visualize you telling me, Tony, I got my 20,000, and I'm like, yeah, great job, and us celebrating. And that feeling tone of celebration will attract you what it is, the money. I have a friend of mine that he wanted to meet somebody. He's like, Tony, I'm single. Can you do something for me? And I'm like, I got you, bro. So I just visualized him telling me how he met somebody, things are going great, and his dating life is better than ever before, and all this stuff. And sure enough, his dating life is going fantastic now. He met somebody and things are going great. So everything starts with an idea. Show yourself the images of the end result of what it is you want for you or for other people, and watch it take place in their lives, assuming that it's good. And if it's good and they don't want it, then it's going to be good for you. You've put forth positive ideas and positive vibrations that will at the very least improve your life. Did you say SD? Yeah, I'm in San Diego. Did you say 5D or SD? Let me know what you mean, Janelle. I'm a college student. I can use $20,000 to visualize yourself. See yourself successful. Just because you're in college, get rid of the idea of the starving college student, the broke college student. Forget that. When I was in college, my last year in college, I started a business and we got it to do $200,000 in sales in its first year out of my apartment. So get rid of this idea of the broke college student. Throw that out and give yourself ideas of you successful, of you rich. I went to USC and I was in the Marshall School of Business, and in their entrepreneur program, I knew so many people who started businesses or already had businesses at 22 or 21 and were thriving. So change the ideas that you have of your mind, of your finances and yourself. How is get the house you really want, how to manifest it. To get the house you really want, same process. Relax your body, relax your mind, and see yourself living in that house. Feel the end result. When you go to sleep every night, don't see yourself going to sleep in your room. See yourself going to sleep in your ideal bedroom. See yourself earning more than ever before. So really just see the end result of what it is you want every day until it becomes a reality. When I have a BMW right now. When I didn't have a BMW, I didn't know what I was going to get, but I knew I wanted a sports car. And so I would just drive around, and I was in my car. I had a Nissan at the time. And I would just visualize the end result of what it is I want. And I'll give you another exercise after this that'll help. I would just feel as if I was driving a sports car. Every time I would press the gas, my car had no horsepower, but I would just say, man, listen to that engine purr. Look at how good it takes corners. And I would imagine that I was feeling the end result of me driving the car I wanted. And I ended up, now I have an amazing car that I love with a ton of horsepower, and it's super fun. So I just kept getting myself into the feeling tone of what it is I want. Another great way to manifest, I got this from Benito Mazzaro. He's a law of attraction teacher. He said, talk about whatever it is you want as if it happened 2 weeks ago. And by talking about it in the past, you'll put yourself in the feeling tone of having it now. For instance, if I say, let's say I want a promotion. I can talk about it as if it took place 2 weeks ago. Man, I'm so glad I got that promotion. I'm earning more money than ever before. I love what I do. My work is going great. Things are going fantastic for me. And as you talk about it in the past, you feel the feeling tones of it now, and that starts to attract to you what it is you want. So that's a great, easy way for you to manifest whatever it is that you like. Thank you. Thank you, me2078, and thank you for all the gifts, and you too, Janelle. I'm currently trying to start my own business. How can I manifest success? 1, see your business doing well. Visualize every day your business doing well. Your products flying off the shelf. Whatever the end result would look like for you, see that. 2, set goals for your business. How much are you going to earn in sales every year? And if you don't have goals, I would recommend setting them right away. I'm currently trying to start my own business. How can I 3, well, I guess even before setting financial goals, set goals to get your business off the ground. And then 3, I would study people who are already doing what you want to do and model their business. And as a result, your learning curve can be really high, really fast, as opposed to trying to figure it all out on your own. Hey, thank you. And then let me know if that helps you, and I can go more into this. But if you want to manifest success, see the end result every day and get into the feeling tone of it, of what it is you want. And then you'll attract to yourself the right people, the right resources, circumstances, events, situations. And then obviously put in the hours too. Put in the work to get your business off the ground. 2,000 coin candle. I don't know what the 2,000 coin candle is, Matt. Thank you. Thank you, me. I manifest that this video will start working. Let me know what you need, Mike, and I'm happy to help you out. Thank you. I'm glad to be on your vision board. So you want to be a makeup artist? I'll get you. hold on one second. I just hit something. Okay, so I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Tony, I'm divorced. Can you please make the alimony for the heifer to stop? Yeah. So this is from Wayne Dyer, this story. So let me know if it helps you or not. It may or may not help you. But there was this couple that was going through a really ugly divorce, and the woman hated him. It was the woman hated the man, I believe, and it had been ongoing. And Wayne said, as long as you're in this vibration of hate and confusion and negativity, this is going to be ongoing essentially forever. Even after the settlement is done, you're going to still attract all these situations that are not in accordance with what it is you want. So he said, start doing forgiveness work towards your partner and towards yourself for creating the situation. So the woman starts doing it, and then she ended up sending flowers to her former spouse, and things got addressed really quick. Almost immediately, and they came to a resolution that worked for everybody and everything was good. What I would do is I would see your ex-spouse, and then I would write out like let me think. I would make sure that I have the terminology right. I would say like my relationship with, my ex, or I would actually call her by her, him or her by her name. And then I would list how you want it to be now. So you could say that person's financially independent, you're financially independent, your relationship is peaceful, you're peacefully divorced and separated financially and otherwise, and work with that image and that idea and start to forgive that person as well if negativity comes up, and start to move forward towards that. Let me know if I'm making sense on this. You want to get into the feeling tone of what it is you want. And whenever you have to pay, if you have to pay alimony, say, you know what, I'm grateful for the good years and the good times I have with this person. I release this person with love and send blessings out her way. My friend went through a really bad divorce. He ended up paying, I can't say the amount of money, but he paid a lot. And he affirmed, and he said, this divorce is going to be the best thing that ever happened to me. And people thought he was nuts. Obviously, I didn't, because I know about intentions and working with energy and ideas. So he said, this is going to be the best thing that ever happened to me. His business multiplied. He's making millions and millions and millions of dollars now annually, because he put forth that energy. He did all this internal work on himself to see what causes divorce. How can he be a better man in his next relationship? How can he show up to life better every day? What habits can he improve on? And he took it as like a great time for introspection, to improve himself, to see what went wrong. How can he pick a better spouse in his next marriage? What didn't he look at that he should have been seeing in this one? He just used it as food for thought, as an opportunity to grow, and he blesses his ex. He ended up paying her a huge amount. It was like a 90-10 split when everything was done, where she got like all this money, the house, car, this, that, and he didn't get much of anything, but he had his consciousness, and he set the right intention and had the right ideas for this divorce. And instead of harping about his ex and how bad she is, he focused on all the good that's going to take place as a result of it. And as a result, it ended up making him millions and millions of dollars by the man that he became. I spoke about this earlier. Within every negative event is the seed of an equal or greater benefit. So however seemingly negative that this situation seems, that's how much potential for good is there, if you'll just look for it and start to apply and start to tap into that. So ask yourself, what's the good in this? What good is seeking to emerge? How does it get better than this? How can I be more loving? How can I be more joyful? Ask yourself these empowering questions and watch what answers show up, and they'll transform your life. Ask yourself, how can I get richer from this? How is this going to make me richer? How is this going to make me better? And watch life do that for you. How do you work with, let me know if that helps, by the way. Oh, you're awesome. Thank you. Likewise. How do you work with internal blocks / detrimental beliefs / resistance to what you want to manifest? I spoke about this earlier. So if you have a belief or a block to what you want to manifest, simply write out what you believe is the negative belief. So let's say money is your issue, and your belief is, I never have enough money. That's a negative idea. So, by the way, I have a video on this. It's called How to Overcome Limiting Beliefs Fast. So, and it's on my TikTok page. So on the left side, you grab a pen and paper, and in the middle, draw a line. On the left side, write out that limiting belief and any other limiting beliefs that you have. You might as well knock them all out in one shot. So let's say the limiting belief is, I don't have enough money. On the other side, you would put its positive opposite. I always have enough money. I always have enough money, and you can affirm other positive ideas if you like as well. So you have this new positive idea. And then what I would have you do is write out, what is all the pain I feel by believing this old belief? So what is all the pain I feel by believing that old belief? What you want to do is you want to get leverage on yourself. You want to associate massive amounts of pain to your old idea and then massive amounts of pleasure to your new idea, so that your subconscious, by the way, wants to keep you safe. It wants to keep you in your comfort zone. So it before thought that this old belief that actually is holding you up, it was good. So you want to flip the script on it, so to speak. So it associates massive amounts of pleasure to the new idea and massive amounts of pain to the old idea. So you say, what is it costing me to believe that old idea? What is all the pain I feel, by believing that old idea? And write nonstop for 3 to 5 minutes. Really make yourself feel horrible. The purpose of this, again, is to make your subconscious realize that having that old idea is not good. And then write out, what is all the pleasure I'll feel by adopting this new belief? And then write out, first shake yourself off before answering the next question, so you're in a good state again. And write nonstop for 5 minutes, all the pleasure, all the good that'll take place, how you'll have more money, you'll be healthier, you'll be able to do what you want to do. Just really run wild with it. Don't let your pen stop writing. And then after that, read your new, I would even throw away the old paper and read your new beliefs to yourself every day. And that'll get them going. It's like you've put yourself on autopilot for success. So let me know if that answers your question. That's a quick, easy way to do it. I have that. If you need those steps reiterated, just go through my TikTok feed. It's like maybe the 10th video down, how to overcome limiting beliefs, or it's somewhere on there. And then I want to become a makeup artist. That's a great, worthy endeavor. I would see the end result of you working on somebody's face, them telling you how much they love how they look, and you get into the end result of it, and then tell yourself you're going to pick the best school and you're going to work at the best I would actually form a new image. Excuse me. Like my career as a makeup artist, and then write it out. I go to the best school to learn makeup. I work with the best. I work at the best studio. I have the best clients. My clients love me. I make people look better than ever before. I would write it all out, how I want it to look. And then I'd visualize the end result of it taking place. That person congratulating me on how great they feel. And then I would get to work on my plan and go start looking for schools and stuff. But first, start with the image and idea of what it is you want, and then go take the steps from there. Excuse me. I ate a bunch of delicious food that I don't normally eat right before coming on this live. Do you know that we are small compared to what is out there? So say it and have it. Did you know that we are small compared to what is out there? So say it and have it. Let me know what you mean by that. Are you going to do any content on 5D? I'm not sure, like the fifth dimension. Is that what you mean? So let me know if that's what you mean, and I'll answer. Thank you for the advice. You're welcome. Can you tell us a good book for beginners to read about this? I would recommend, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I have 2 things that I would recommend. Well, I have a number of things. So you have my complete Law of Attraction Masterclass. It's 4 hours of me talking, 4 hours of meditations and affirmation tracks to help you. So actually it's more than that now. It's almost 9 hours in total. And depending on what price Udemy has it on sale for, it's usually from $10 to $13 max. And it's 8 or 9 hours of me talking. And it's just, if you like what you're seeing here, it'll change your life. I walk you through the A to Z of metaphysics. We do goal setting. We do everything. I mean, it's like as easy, as gentle as possible. It's what I wish somebody had for me when I was learning all this stuff. And then I have my book, How to Manifest Your Dream Life. It's just, you can get it on Amazon right now. There's the ebook. The hardcover will be available, I think, in 2 days from now. So those are 2 books there are 2 resources I would recommend. A third one would be The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. It's a great book that just covers all these topics. He's the author, by the way, of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. And it's just an easy, gentle way to learn all this stuff. And lastly, there's the Master Key System by Charles Haanel. But I would start with those first 3 first before getting into the Master Key System. The Master Key is basically, like, I don't want to say kindergarten metaphysics because it gets into some good stuff. But it's a weekly exercises that you do over the course of a year that gives you a really solid understanding of how metaphysics work. But you might want all the content now, and so you don't want to have to wait a whole year to go through the program. I like Charles Haanel, by the way. This was something I adopted from Charles Haanel. Charles Haanel refused to teach metaphysics until he had demonstrated it for himself. His net worth when he was alive was around $250 million by that time standards. So I didn't get to $250 million, but I refused. I said, until I'm number one in my industry, I'm not going to teach metaphysics. And then once I hit number one in my industry, then I left and started teaching. So I said, I won't demonstrate it until I actually apply it. Because there's so many metaphysical teachers out there that they teach about wealth, but the way they became wealthy is through teaching about wealth. So I wanted to show I could do it first and then teach you all it. So let me know if that helps you. What is percentage of taking action versus imagination? I would say 90% imagination, 10% action. So I know people will say, oh, that's crazy. Start with the idea in mind first, and then you'll take all the logical, constructive action, whether you're working, like I work a large number of hours, but it's like graceful, it's enjoyable, I love what I do. But I started with the ideas of it in mind. So most people are taking all this action, but they have these subconscious ideas of defeat, of failure, of negativity in their subconscious. And as a result, they're working against themselves. So start with imagination. See yourself as a winner. See yourself succeeding. And then take action from there. Thank you for the flowers. Slow down. Oh. Oh my God. Let me see. Thank you for who told me to take a deep breath. I get pumped when I talk about this stuff. I'm enthusiastic about it. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you do your best. So my energy gets going once I start talking. Okay. Okay. Can you explain scripting, please? Let me know what you mean by scripting. Do you mean when you write out your story, your ideal story, and say it to yourself every day? If that's what you mean, let me know, and I have a good idea. I have a good exercise for abundance for you. And thank you. You're awesome too. When you're running late, day, I have more time. If you're running late, if I'm ever running late, this might sound like total BS, but I got this from one of my favorite metaphysical teachers, and I always used it. She would say something along the line of, slow down time and speed me up, if that makes sense. So you're dealing with this infinite power. Now this is going to sound, it might sound like total hogwash to some of you, but if you're ever running late, tell yourself, well, first you can tell yourself you have more than enough time. I like to tell myself, I'm going to arrive on time. I have more than enough time. And if I'm ever running really late, I just say, Divine, speed me up so that I arrive on time, and slow time down so that I arrive on time. And then watch how things unfold for you. Do you do work with AODA? I'm not sure what AODA is, so let me know what it stands for and I'll let you know. I think I love you. I love you too. Thank you. You definitely did answer my question. Never heard this to me. Awesome. Good. Say you are. I would not only say I'm a makeup artist, but I would say I am the best makeup artist. People come to me from near and far. What is it? I want to say something that Joseph Murphy used to say. He had this woman who she was a hairstylist. And she would say that every time somebody comes to get a haircut from me or gets their hairstyle from me, the divine beauty of God flows through me to them. And they were stepping into the beauty of God. God's wisdom, God's beauty, God's intelligence, God's love flows through me and through all of my clients, through all of my staff, through all of my processes. And each person who comes to me is divinely blessed. And you can say something like that to yourself and watch what happens. You'll have all these people showing up to you. They might not even need makeup. They're just coming to get your blessing, to get your good, to get that high vibration, because spiritually they haven't been fed, and you'll have a line out the door. When I used to sell cars, I would say the same thing. Each person who comes to me is blessed. God's love flows through me. Thank you. God's joy flows through me. They're stepping into the love, the joy, the beauty, the wisdom, the good of God. And I always had this line of clients, and I did fantastic with it. Tony's the best. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Where can we listen to your stuff? Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, just check out my Law of Attraction course. I have my YouTube channel. But you should, by the way, to subscribe to me if you haven't already. I have my YouTube channel where I'm going to start putting on a talk like this every single day. Not this long, but it'll be anywhere from 3 to 10 minutes. And then I have my podcast as well. And then I put up TikTok videos pretty much every single day. Do you work with people struggling with addictions? Yes, I do. By the way, if you're struggling with addictions, I have a great meditation for you. It's called, if you're struggling with alcohol or a drug addiction, if you have something else, let me know and I can gear you in the right direction. Or you can send me a DM if you don't want to address it publicly. But I have a great meditation. It's called Get Sober Now. I made it initially for a friend of mine who couldn't stop smoking marijuana. It's based on the Silva method. The Silva method is a form of guided meditation where they teach you how to relax your mind and impress positive ideas and also bring up negative ideas and replace them with positive ideas. So I made this meditation called Get Sober Now. If you type in Tony Namey Get Sober Now on YouTube, it'll come up. And I made it for my friend, and he didn't listen to it. I sent it to him to help him stop smoking marijuana. And so I decided, you know what, I'll put this on YouTube. And I did, and man, it helped so many people. People wrote me that it helped them get off cocaine. They got off heroin. They got off like all kinds of stuff. So I would definitely recommend, if you have an addiction, listening to that track to get to whatever the root causes of it are, and also to impress new positive habits and ideas on your subconscious. And then you could also do that pain pleasure exercise that I mentioned earlier before. What is all the pain I feel by continuing in this habit? What is all the pleasure I'll feel by adopting new healthy constructive habits? And then why am I absolutely committed to my new habits? Spend 5 minutes writing out each, and then watch your subconscious begin to shift. Let me know if that helps. Awesome. So definitely listen to the Get Sober Now track. If you can't find it on YouTube, send me a DM and I'll send it to you. Thank you guys for the gifts. Jose Silva. I love Jose Silva. Jose Silva is one of my favorite teachers. He's the founder of the Silva method, which teaches you how to go from beta, this awake state of consciousness, to alpha, which is the deeper state of consciousness where you can program yourself for goals. It's as if you're going like, here's a trapdoor to your subconscious. You're in beta. And instead of trying to hammer an idea in, you just open it and then place whatever you want in there and then close it after you finish. And then after alpha, you can go to theta, which is an even deeper state of consciousness if you want to do healing work or recall deep subconscious issues. And I love it. You can get the book for, I think it's maybe $10 at Barnes & Noble. And it's one of my all-time favorite books. It's called The Silva Method. What's your YouTube channel name? It's just my first and last name, Tony Namey. Yeah, Jose Silva is one of my favorite. I have a bunch. I have a bunch of Silva style meditations that I made on all these subjects to help people. They have, my videos on YouTube right now have over 500,000 views, and I'm just a huge fan of his. And do you have wealth manifestations on it? Thank you. What's YouTube? Do I have wealth manifestations on it on my YouTube channel? I have some affirmation tracks, but I haven't done anything specifically geared towards wealth. And I should, and I will at some point. The only video I have about wealth is, I'll share the exercise with you all right now. It's called, what did I call it? I don't know. I'll just share what the exercise is. I don't remember what the name of it is. But basically, so in every area, every city, there's a wealthy area. For instance, New York, there's Manhattan. LA, there's Beverly Hills. In San Diego, there's Del Mar or La Jolla. So a few years ago, I wanted to manifest some money, and I wanted to manifest some money fast. Like I needed money, and I needed it, right away. I wanted to, and not just money, but I wanted a change in my life. I wasn't happy. I felt stuck with where I was at. So I took myself to Del Mar, which is a really high-end part of town, and I went to this really fancy hotel there, and I went and sat down in their lounge, and I brought a notebook, and I did the following exercise. By the way, when I first arrived at that hotel, I felt super out of place. That place was super fancy, and I felt so out of place. I felt like they were just going to come pick me up and throw me out. Like, hey, you don't belong here. Get out of here. I said, Tony, relax. Like, start to allow yourself. I started telling myself, this is my life now. This is normal to me now. This is where I deserve to be, where I belong. And as I started telling myself these things, this couple next to me started talking to me like, hey, what are you up to today? Then I ran into somebody that I knew who is fairly wealthy, who just happened to be getting drinks there. Then this group of really attractive women came and sat near me. So it was like, as I started to shift, all these good things started to happen. So the reason I mention that is if you go to this wealthy area and you first feel out of place, that's okay. Your vibration is adjusting to the vibration of the area, and then soon it'll normalize. So then once you're at the area, grab a pen and paper and write out my new story. So again, my new story, and write out how you'd like things to be. Where do you live? Where do you work? What are you doing? How much are you earning? Really run wild with it, as if nothing was off limits. I listed that I would be number one in my company, that I would get a promotion, and I would move to the area that I'm living in now, that I would my dating life would be fantastic. I would win my next Muay Thai fights. I listed all this stuff. And all of it ended up happening because what I would do is after I left that place, first, just the simple act of being in that wealthy environment and writing it out has a positive impact on you. And then second, this is what's really important, is every day I would sit down and I would read what I wrote out and I would feel the feelings of being in that wealthy environment again. So I would get back into that feeling tone of abundance, of wealth. And what ended up happening was right away all these changes happened. I got a promotion and I ended up moving to the neighborhood I wanted to move in, which was right by Del Mar. I love where I live. I live in this upscale neighborhood. I live like maybe 3 or 4 miles from the beach. Like my income doubled and then doubled again. It was just one good thing after the next. I won my next Muay Thai fights. I mean, everything that I listed in that list ended up coming true. And so get clear on what it is you want and feel that feeling state of being wealthy every day. Try that exercise out. Go to a wealthy area, write out your new story, do this every day, and watch how things shift for you. Let me know if that helps for a wealth manifestation. Can I manifest something to increase my dating? Sam, is that you? Let me know if I know this person. Because the terminology you said, increase my dating, is somebody... I used to have a pickup business called Increase Your Dating. So I don't know if that's my boy Sam or not, messing with me. Okay, thank you for all the gifts. So happy to see you again, likewise. Thoughts on Wallace Wattles? Wallace Wattles wrote The Science of Getting Rich, which... I don't know. I just never got into the book. Some people swear by it. It's their Bible. I love Charles Handel's The Master Key System. I love Charles Handel. Wallace Wattles, I picked up his book so many times, and I just never did the trick for me. So if you like him, though, by all means, use him. Oh, okay, cool. All right, I'm glad. So I didn't like... Oh, by the way, there's a great book. I would recommend getting... Let me grab them if you guys have 1 second. How can I speed up the Oh, well, I have a great thing to say to that. Give me just 1 second. One thing that I really like, I heard, okay, are you all familiar with Esther Hicks? If you're not, Esther Hicks is an amazing law of attraction teacher. One thing that I really like from Esther, I listen to her regularly. As I'm driving, I always am listening to somebody. I like to have my subconscious being constantly and my consciousness being bombarded with positive ideas. What's up, user Nami? And I heard her, somebody was asking her about wealth. And Esther said, if wealth is your main issue, she said, get my money and the law of attraction cards. She said, they're the best thing I've ever seen for manifesting wealth. And I've listened to hours and hours and hours of Esther Hicks. And I had never heard her mention these cards. So these are the cards. They're money and the law of attraction cards. And so on the front, it says something like, I am becoming more aware of my feelings about money. And then on the back, it has these positive statements. It has a teaching about money. And what it does is, every day it just gradually shifts your belief system and your vibration about money from one of poverty to one of wealth. And until money is there's no resistance around money anymore. And then money starts to manifest for you fast. And I manifested a ton of money since getting these cards. So I highly recommend them. They're called Esther Hicks Money and the Law of Attraction cards, and they'll really help you out. Also, she has a great book, Money and the Law of Attraction, which I think is fantastic. Hold it up so we can... Oh, here it is. No, it's not tarot. They're actual cards with different teachings. For instance, I want to harmonize with what I believe is good. And then it tells you about, I want to be the best that I can be. I want to do and have and live in a way that is in harmony with my idea of the greatest goodness. So basically, it's a positive statement with the teaching on the back. You can buy them on Amazon. I believe they're $10. So, and it's like 60 cards or 100 cards or something like that. So I highly recommend them just to gradually shift you. Or you can get her book, Money and the Law of Attraction, which I think is good as well too. Or you can just come up with an idea of you being a wealthy person and affirm your wealth and affirm your success. And you can do that too for free. Write out my new idea about money, or my image of money. I have a lavish, steady, dependable income consistent with integrity and mutual benefit. She wrote the cards. Yeah, they're all based on her teachings. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I am infinitely rich. Start to affirm these ideas. Oh, it's Esther Hicks. Here, if you want to take a picture of it, Esther Hicks, Money and the Law of Attraction cards. And this is a gradual process. using these cards. So it'll shift things for you gradually until you have the money you want. Now, somebody asked me about how can I speed up their manifestation. 2 things you should do. 1, every day, get into the end result, the feeling tone of what it is you want. So that's 1. So 2, bombard your subconscious with ideas of a positive nature. I made a video about this the other day. If you want to drastically alter your life, start by drastically altering your thoughts. So I'll give you a story about this. One day I needed to manifest some money and I needed to manifest it fast. So I just started walking around telling myself, instead of thinking my normal thoughts that I think every day, people just, by the way, are on autopilot. They think the same thoughts every day and they create the same life for themselves year after year. So I just said, Tony, I'm going to manifest money. So I just started walking around telling myself, I'm rich for hours. Like, well, maybe not for hours, maybe an hour and a half or a few hours. And every once in a while I'd say, I'm wealthy. I'm rich, I'm wealthy, I'm rich. Just hammering in this idea that I'm rich. So maybe an hour and a half or so goes by, a short amount of time goes by, but that's all I'm concentrating on is this idea that I'm rich. I'm rich and I'm wealthy. So my friend calls me, not my friend, he's my friend and my manager at the time. I used to manage a boxing gym back in the day. And he goes, hey, Tony, there's this girl who wants personal training, but I'm too busy to train her. Can you train her? And I was like, no, I don't train anybody. I just manage a gym. By the way, I used to help all these guys get ready for their fights, and I was in great shape myself. I posted videos of myself when, I worked at the gym at that time. I was in super great shape. He's like, Tony, you know all this stuff. You'll be fine. Just help her out. It'll be really good for you and for her. And I'm like, all right, tell her this is how much I'll charge her, see if that works for her. So he tells her, the girl calls me, and she goes, hey, is it okay if I bring my friends? I'm like, yeah, sure. So she brings her friends. Her friends end up recommending other people. And it was like out of that one call, that my personal training business started. And then that afternoon I go to work and this woman comes in that same day and she goes, hey, Tony, I was talking to her. She said, Tony, do you train people? She's like, I like your energy. I like your vibe. I said, yeah, I do. The only reason I was saying, yeah, I do is because I had just agreed to train those women earlier that day. And she's like, what do you charge? And I said, these are my rates. And she goes, oh, perfect. The woman was really wealthy. She goes, here's a month or 3 months in advance. And boom, paid me for it. And that day, my whole business, my personal training business was made. And it made me, a lot of money. And it helped a lot of people. So it's fantastic. So start to shift your thoughts. Dramatically shift your thoughts. So again, feeling tone, dramatically shift your thoughts. And then third, be aware of your resistance. A lot of people, they do a lot of good they see their vision board in the morning, they do their affirmations, they do their meditation. But then what are they doing the other 95% of the day? They talk about how bad their life is and how things never work for them and how horrible men are or women are. And they just derail all the good that they did that morning. Don't be like those people. Don't set up a counter image to the positive image you set earlier in the day. So affirm your good. Stay in that positive tone, that positive feeling, that expective tone that good things are going to happen for you, and they will. So the last one is to remove resistance. If you're feeling resistance around something, either get to neutrality, take your mind off it and focus on what it is you want. Do that, or see if you can focus on what feels good, but don't stay in a negative state throughout the day. Don't sabotage the good that you did early in the day by staying in a negative state later in the day. On a positive note, David Hawkins says that one positive thought counterbalances the negative effects of something like hundreds of negative thoughts. So if you just spend a few minutes every day in gratitude and love, feeling the end tone of what it is you want, you've pre-paved your day essentially for success. But just be aware of how much resistance you're putting out throughout your day and seek to minimize that as much as possible and seek to have as much faith and hope in what it is you want, and your manifestations will show up really fast. People will say like, oh, you're so lucky, you're so fortunate, you're so blessed. But you're working with an actual process. You're affirming what it is you want. You're visualizing the end result of what it is you want. And you're not negating it. And so as a result, you're attracting to you everything you want. Have you read Power versus Force? I love Power versus Force. It's one of my all-time favorite books. For those of you who don't know who it's by David Hawkins. He was a psychologist and just an amazing man. He had an illumination where he was filled with essentially cosmic light, and he understood all this stuff. So he was a big fan of muscle testing, where you'll say a statement such as, I'll say like, I'm Tony Namian, and somebody will test my arm and I'll test strong. And then I'll say a statement such as, I am a woman. And then I'll go to test me and I'll test weak because obviously I'm a man. That's untrue for me. But then he got me into muscle testing. So I muscle test all these things such as, are these vitamins are good for me? And I would see if I would stay strong or if I would stay weak. I would have somebody muscle test with me. And so it's an interesting way to go through your belief systems and, see what makes you strong and what makes you weak. Get a friend and say certain things like, I'm a millionaire. And see if you are strong when they push down on your arm or if it goes down right away. If you stay strong or if you get stronger, that means you believe that. And if you get weaker, that means you need to start affirming that to yourself. It's not something you really believe or that's in your subconscious at the moment. Yeah. Let me know if that answers your questions. Have you read The Kabbalion by the Three Initiates? It's Hermes. Yeah, I love The Kabbalion. I talk about it in my 8-hour Law of Attraction Masterclass. I talk about it. I go through all the laws. Most spiritual teachers just focus on the law of attraction, which should actually be called the law of vibration. I go through all the laws. I go through the law of vibration, the law of rhythm, the law of gender, the law of cause and effect, the law of perpetual transmutation of radiant energy. I go through as many of them that are currently, available that I'm aware of at the moment. So I love The Kabbalion. The Kabbalion said something that I think about. It said a couple things that really stuck with me, in addition to the hours of teaching that I do about it. One, it said there's a law of rhythm where there's highs and lows to everything. And it said that somebody who really understands the law of mental transmutation, where you can turn your bad into good, will be able to affix themselves to the positive rhythm. So you'll be able to fix yourself, in the high rhythm, and then the rhythms will either not occur for you anymore, or if they do, you'll stay in a positive state until the rhythm shifts back in your favor. So you won't be affected by anything else going on, or you'll just live at the high rhythm at all times. So that's when you start to take total control of your mind. So I like that book. It might not be the easiest book for people to read if they're new to this, just because the phrasing, the terminology that they use is old English from way back in the day. So you might want, for instance, to get my book where I go through the laws, but in an easy to understand format. How to excel in study and remember everything you study. Super easy. So a few things I would recommend. So you said how to excel in study and remember everything you study. First, show yourself every day. And every day I would relax my body. I would relax my mind. I would do this prior to going to bed every night. And I would show myself getting high marks on all my tests. I would see my teachers congratulating me, telling me that I'm the best student in their class. I'm top of the class, seeing A's on all my papers, and then see myself celebrating as I receive my report card or I look up my grades. And then I would affirm to myself exactly what you said. I excel in my studies and I remember everything that I study. I excel in my studies and I remember everything that I study. Anything that I study, and then you can even give yourself more positive affirmations. I enjoy studying. It's good for me. What I learn is applicable to my life, so I want to learn it and I enjoy doing it. So that way studying it equals something positive to you. My subconscious, being infinitely intelligent, knows what's best for me to study and focuses on that which is best for me to study. What else would I say? There was something else. Oh yeah, I am a genius and I apply my wisdom now. I know exactly when to study, what to study, and how long to study for. I do great in everything, and I easily understand anything and everything that I study. Give yourself a series of positive instructions such as that every night before falling asleep, and show yourself images of you succeeding, and watch how easy studying is for you. I had a friend of mine, he was failing chiropractic school, and so I gave him those exercises to do, and now he's a licensed chiropractor. He's in fact one of the best chiropractors in the world, and those were the exercises I gave him to do so that he could get through all his studies. Do you have a mantra from when you recognize a moment of manifestation happening? I don't have one for when I recognize a moment of manifestation happening, but if something great happens and you want something even greater to happen, ask yourself, feel grateful for what's taking place so that you attract more good. And then ask yourself, after giving thanks, say, how does it get even better than this? And then you've given your subconscious this idea or asked it this question, and it's going to go to work to answer it for you. Yes, it is powerful. Absolutely. And you're powerful. Could you please, I just answered that. Have you read Can't Hurt Me? And also, what do you recommend about the author David Goggins? I love David Goggins. I haven't read the book Can't Hurt Me, but I've listened to a number of David Goggins talks. And he's a breath of fresh air. Well, I would say for men and women, but I would say especially for men, because so many men I see nowadays are unfortunately not showing up. I don't know how to just say it without seeming insulting, but I'll give you an example. Instead of when I used to teach dating seminars, I would say, how many guys here are having trouble in dating? And all these guys would raise their hands. And then I would say, well, that's not the question I would ask. I would say, how many guys here are virgins? And all these guys raise their hands. And then I would say, how many guys here play World of Warcraft? And all the same hands would go up. So instead of going out there and meeting women and studying, how to have positive interactions or taking classes on public speaking, guys are doing things such as playing video games for 8 to 10 hours a day. Instead of exercising and being, excelling at their work, they're doing things that are unproductive for them and hoping that things just somehow magically happen for them. I was reading yesterday that the average guy spends 18 hours a week playing video games. 18 hours. That's a huge waste of time. I mean, how many hours are you awake for every week? Let's say that's like one full waking day every week, pretty much, that they're just playing video games, where if they use that time, they can tremendously transform their lives and the lives of those people around them. So I like David Goggins because he's on his grind. He does his work. He speaks his truth. He doesn't water down his message for anybody, and I totally respect that. Well, you're awesome. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. Can we watch this live later on as well? Yeah, I will. It'll be on my podcast and it'll be on my YouTube channel. So I'll put them up either today or tomorrow. So I've been talking for maybe, let me see. I've been talking for 2 hours now. So I'm going to get going in a moment. Is there any questions or anything else anybody wants to ask me before I go? And if there's not, that's okay. And be sure, if you don't follow me, be sure to follow me. Also, I would recommend checking out either my course or my ebooks. They'll tremendously change your life. There's a link in my bio. How do you... you're welcome. So I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful that you all spent this time with me. My YouTube is Tony Namey. Just my first and last name. So if you type it in on YouTube, I'll pop up. And then obviously be sure to subscribe to me. My podcast is the world's greatest podcast. That's what I called it. So the world's greatest podcast by Tony Namey. And there's a link in my, in my bio. Click it, and then it'll take you to my podcast. So be sure to check it out. I do, little talks like this. I post all these on there, and then I'm going to do one every day on a different subject. So be sure to check it out. And then, do you guys want prayer before I go, or should we just cancel out? Just conclude the session. It's whatever you guys like. And if not, then we'll just, we'll call it a day. And thank you, everybody. I'll start. Oh, yes, please. Okay. Is there anything you guys want prayer about in particular? If not, I'll just freestyle. So, cool. Oh, thank you. How consistent? It depends. Right now I used to do these every day, but then I was starting to burn myself out because typically I work a 10-hour day. I work out, and then I was doing these talks at night. But the thing is I'm the type I'll just keep talking and talking and talking as long as there's people. So it just depends on my energy and stuff. Okay, so I'm seeing health, financial blessings. Okay. You guys got it. Let's jump into prayer now. So, all right. So everybody, go ahead and close your eyes. And let's just all take an easy, gentle breath. And take another deep cleansing breath, just letting go of anything that came before this moment. And take one more deep cleansing breath, breathing in the breath of God now. And I begin all prayers with gratitude to anchor in the right feeling, tone, and vibration. So I am grateful. I'm grateful for all of the conversation, for all the dialogue that took place here today. I'm grateful for these high-minded, like-minded individuals that are willing to step forward and say yes, that are bringing forth their best so that greater good that can occur. I'm grateful for the Spirit of God that flows through me right here and right now. And from this place of gratitude, I recognize that God is good. I recognize that God is wholeness and perfection. God is whole, perfect, and complete. There is nothing missing or lacking within God. I recognize that God is peace and harmony. There is no stress or tension within God. God is divine peace. God is divine harmony. That spirit of infinite overflowing good. I recognize that God is abundance and success, infinite good, divine success, that good that always produces more good out of itself. And in this moment, I am one with the success of God. I am one with its peace of harmony. Its divine overflow is my overflow. Its life is my life. Its wholeness and perfection is my wholeness and perfection. I am whole, perfect, and complete. And as I know this to be true of me, I know this to be the absolute truth of everyone on this lives being right here and right now, right where they are. The Spirit of God is in its wholeness and perfection flowing in its total wholeness and perfection right here and right now. I claim and call for such wholeness and perfection that regardless of any doctor's diagnosis, I claim and call forth a prognosis of wholeness and perfection, perfect divine spiritual health, from the top of their head to the tip of their toes. I claim and call forth wholeness and perfection flowing through every cell, muscle, tissue, and organ, for everywhere that they are, every fiber of their being is filled and fused with the Spirit of God, that Spirit with infinite good. I claim and call forth such wholeness and perfection flowing through these viewers right here and right now, that as they go about their days from this month forward, tomorrow, and every day after, they are filled with that spirit of perfection. Their health is abounding, abundant physical health, God's abundance flowing through them, abundant vitality levels, abundant physical health, abundant mental and spiritual health overflowing, souls lit up, expressing their gifts, their talents, their capabilities and capacities in ways that are truly fulfilling for them. I claim and call for such wholeness and perfection that they are whole, perfect, and complete, that from this moment forward, they lack nothing. They have everything that they need to succeed, to be their absolute best. I claim and call forth for them such abundant good that their financial body is filled with God's wholeness and perfection. Abundant financial health, all of their needs, goals, wants, desires are taking place in this moment, in every moment. In fact, before they even know what they want, it is met and brought to them by God's infinite intelligence. I claim and call for such abundance that anything they want from this moment forward is theirs. They simply need desire it in consciousness, and it takes place in their physical realities. I claim and call for such success for them that everything that they touch prospers. Everything that they touch turns to gold. Everything that they seek to do, even the most secret things in their hearts that they've always wanted to do and haven't shared with anyone else, from this moment forward, it is manifesting for them in the best, brightest, and healthiest ways, filled with God's good. In fact, I claim and call forth their good taking place so perfectly, so harmoniously, so lovingly and joyfully, that it has to be God's peace and harmony that is the foundation, that is the springboard, is the way shower, the path for them from this moment forward. I claim and call for such success that this moment is a new moment in their lives. It is a new beginning, a new chapter. The old way of doing things done away with. Success is the name and order of the day for everybody in this prayer, everybody on this live, and everybody that was on this live. So I give thanks that as these people go forward, they go forward better in a higher vibration, filled with God's abundance, filled with God's success, filled with God's peace and harmony. I give thanks that as they go forward, the peace and harmony of God flows through them, washing away anything of a negative, discordant nature, anything that is not of peace and harmony, released, resolved, dissolved, absolved, tossed back into the nothingness from which it came, never to return. I give thanks that as they go forward, God's wholeness and perfection flows through them, that they are whole, perfect, and complete, that they reflect and manifest the Spirit of God now. And I release this prayer. From this place of gratitude, I release this prayer. I know it is done. I release it knowing it does not return empty nor void, but it is answered in better, brighter ways than anything I could have said. So I take my hands off it. I allow it to be, and I say, and so it is. Amen. Cool. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for taking Amen. So thank you everyone for taking the time to be here today. I love you all. If you ever need anything, DM me. Thank you. That was awesome as well. Somebody asked me if I was channeling. I'm not channeling. I just taking number. Yeah, one of your videos promotes Trump. Why? I'll get to that in one moment. I've taken a number of prayer classes. I've prayed for people throughout the years. So I'm not channeling. It's called the 5-step affirmative prayer process that we practice at our spiritual center. And that's what I use to get into that feeling tone and to, claim and call forth your divine good that's already within you. We're just actualizing that divine potential. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Somebody asked me why I promote Trump. So I'm Chaldean. I hope this doesn't offend anybody. This is just my own personal belief system. Yes. Thank you so much, Queen. I appreciate that. You're welcome, everybody. Thank you. I'm Chaldean. Chaldeans are a group of it's a Christian minority in Iraq. That there was a huge genocide that was taking place during the previous 2 presidential administrations. And one of the first things Trump did when he was in office was he orders generals to drive ISIS out of Iraq. A lot of people don't know, but there was a massive genocide there. People that I know, they lost their homes, they lost loved ones. It was super serious. It is still super serious, but he had a hugely positive impact on the Chaldean community. He saved a tremendous number of lives. So whether you love him or hate him based on his political beliefs, what he's done for the people I know in the Chaldean community, I will be eternally grateful for him for that, for having driven ISIS out of Iraq and for allowing people to return back to their homes. So that's why. And if anybody else has any other questions, let me know. If not, thank you, everybody. And hopefully I'll be back on soon. This was a lot of fun. It's been great talking to you all. Peace and blessings. Cool.